So you're predicting a win, Roberto?
I know the Broncos could easily win by 20 points or more, but I just think Adam Dwayne's not going to miss a goal this week. That's my big tip.
Wow.
That's just 100%. And you can lock Naden in for another try on Deloise Hoyter. So that's another tip. And if I was going to pick a Broncos try scorer, I'll go Jordan Ricky. Okay, but they're my three predictions. Tigers win, Naden to score a try, Jordan Ricky to score a try.
And welcome in, starting off with a word from our sponsors, West Ashfield. So the mighty West Tigers roared back into the winner's circle last week with an emphatic victory over the Broncos. Now it's time to exact revenge on the Newcastle Knights and continue their climb up the premiership ladder. So if you can't make it to Campbelltown Stadium, come on down to the home of the West Tigers, West Ashfield, this Sunday, 7th of August, 4:05 p.m. is kickoff. To watch that round 21 fixture. West Ashfield offers great dining options. Choose from the Garden Bistro or walk on for some mouth-watering Asian cuisine. And for more information, visit West Ashfield's website, westashfield.com.au, or follow them on Facebook or Instagram at West Ashfield. And if you don't know, West Ashfield is at the home of West Tigers. They are at 115 Liverpool Road, Ashfield. And welcome in to another episode of the WestsLife podcast. Finally, another Winners Lounge. It's been too long, boys. My God, it should have been last week. We kind of, as someone said in the comments there, it's two in a row. We'll kind of think of it as a moral two in a row. But as always, we're also sponsored by Energy Pump Solutions, and we'll try and get Shane back soon. Even he did watch the game. Update on Shane. He did actually watch the second half, so Big Shane was He was happy with the result on the weekend. We've got Rob and Az, who I'll get to in a minute. But first, give us a follow at WestsLife Pod on Instagram and Twitter if you want to support us and take part in the show. And shout out to all the guys in the Patreon Discord, because they helped me a lot with creating the rundown tonight. They're just pumping out the. You don't need a Daily Telegraph subscription. The boys are just screenshotting it and putting them all in there, boys and girls. Shouts to the girls as well. And YouTube, please subscribe. We really want to push those YouTube subscribers up. So shouts to everyone tuning in live through there at the moment. Please, like, subscribe on there. Righto, Roberto, I gave you a little clip there of your prediction last week. How did you spend your winnings?
Not spent yet, mate. That caught me by surprise. It gave me a good chuckle. Thanks for that. Look, like I said earlier, guys, if you sling enough shit, eventually some of it sticks. So got it right. But I mean, pretty much identify your weak links and just pick your try scorers from there. So I thought Hoyter was, a bit of a liability on the wing there, and I thought Ricky would probably try and single out Jock Madden, so they were the reason I took the try scorers, and I thought we'd win because we were pissed off from the week before, and the boys played like they were pissed off, and it was just a brave, wholehearted effort. Really proud of everyone to do with the club. It was a great win.
Absolutely, and as you're rugged up out there, he's got 6 layers on, a hoodie, ready to bust out a victory rap rather than a victory lap. Coming in live from Orange. How you going as we have a winner's lounge finally?
Pretty good, mate. Yeah, you nailed it about the cold. I said to the guys before we went on air, it looks like I'm wearing a bulletproof vest under my jersey at the moment, but no, it's just a zip up jumper over the hoodie. So yeah, got the combo going, ready to celebrate a great win. And I'd like to formally say I'm very, very happy to be proven wrong with my prediction last week. I thought the controversial loss would hinder the team more than it would help, and I figured that they crumble a little bit instead of rising to the challenge. But yeah, the whole team absolutely smashed it. So what a weekend, what a win, what a team performance. And I was having a silent little chuckle while Rob Stradamus was playing in the background as well. That was brilliant, Josh.
Yeah, I put that together this afternoon. I thought he liked it. Just peek behind the curtain. It was about 20 minutes after full time, Rob goes, "Can you please clip together my prediction for next episode?" So I
Didn't
thought
think you'd do it, though.
you gave me an inch and I ran a mile with it, Roberto. So yeah, it's welcome in to everyone for this winners lounge. We'll get we always start with the lower grades. So New South Wales Cup were back in action this week. They got towed up, a lot of points put on them by Mounties. They lost 36-24. Jersey Flag Boys, though, down in Melbourne, they won 44-8. And as we say every episode, our women's are the reigning Harvey Norman Premiership winners, and their season is done and dusted. Right, so a lot of news, boys. It's the last 48 hours, but yeah, we can't take a trick. Arguably, would you call it our best win of the season? I mean, it's only 4, but I mean the most emphatic victory. But yeah, a long time coming, and then sure enough, we lose probably one of our most beloved players for the rest of the season. I'll let as you talk about the social media reaction a bit, but Rob, man, it was just the one big thing that we were really enjoying, even when we weren't winning, was Jackson and Adam starting to find a combination. Now we're going to bloody wait till 2023 for it.
Yeah, look, it's really sad news for Jacko and the club. Like the last 2 games, he's really played as a true lock. It wasn't like we had 3 halves. He had a fantastic game as well on Saturday night. So just devastated for him. But, Jacko being Jacko, still walked around the field, signed his autographs, even though he's got a broken ankle. So that's just him being him. But look, he's taking it really well. He wants to get back on the field as soon as possible. And yeah, look, he might have found his home at lock, especially if Jock can keep doing what he was doing at halfback and maybe just make a few more tackles. But generally, his play was excellent.
As you were saying off air, you noticed, because Jacko, the rumours have been going around that he's not well, having a bit of a tiff with fellow teammates, but it seems like the bromance between him and Adam is going pretty strong.
Yeah, I don't think it ever stopped going pretty strong. Yeah, I noticed 2 tweets today after I got home from work. One was from Jacko, and just the outpouring of support in the comments for him from so many people, even ex-players like Isaac Luke have replied wishing him a speedy recovery. I just figured I'd read both his and AD's tweets out because they are both really, really good. So Jacko has tweeted saying thank you with a picture of a little statement that he's made that says, "Now it's been made public knowledge. I'd like to thank every single person who has reached out in some way to check up and wish me all the best. It's honestly been so overwhelming and I appreciate all of them. I love footy more than anything, and obviously this will be challenging, but I haven't given up on a few goals come the end of this year and plan on doing everything I can to test myself physically and mentally. My main focus right now is to get under the knife ASAP, then get back to helping my teammates in any way possible, finish off the year to the best of our abilities. I've loved being back in the NRL this season, testing myself week to week. See you Tigers fans at a game in the coming weeks."
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, he's contracted for next season, so I mean, coming weeks, you have to. It's like he's gone for the year. There's definitely, I mean, there's no reason to. We're not playing semi-final, so why would you even try and rush him back? So yeah, it just sucks. Got to wait until 2023 for more Jacko. Okay, so
sorry, I just AD's tweet as well.
Oh yeah, sorry, As I thought you were finished.
I had to go find it. "Wishing my mate Jacko Hastings a healthy recovery. Thank you, Tigers fans, for the continued support. On to Newcastle or Campbelltown. See yous there." The tiger emoji. And Jacko's replied to it with the praying hands, the steam coming out of the nostrils, and a heart emoji as well. So that's the bromance is real, guys. The bromance is real.
Yeah, I noticed them on Instagram stories and stuff. hanging out a lot. So I think maybe, Rob, do you think maybe 2 games back to back in Queensland, a bit of a mini camp for the guys, is has proven to be a good thing? Gelled them a little bit, gone through a bit of adversity as well.
They did come back to Sydney, Josh, last week
Did
before.
they? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
before flying back up. Look, it's going to sound really weird considering I've been, pretty critical of front office for a long time now. We always say that, winning starts in the front office. I reckon, guys, this win was conceived as soon as we got ripped off against North Queensland, because our front office has basically seen what's happened on the field. They've been just as devastated as what the players were, what the supporter base has been. And they've said, you know what, we're not going to take this. We're going to set a standard. We're going to back you guys up. And, we've basically told, like, the front office have sent a message to our team that every 2 points is important. What you guys did last week and got ripped off for is not acceptable, and we're going to stand up for you. So when you start having to play for a front office that's on the same page as you, it builds harmony, it builds unity. So I really think having got ripped off last week might have been the best thing that ever happened to us. And it's not over yet. We're still hopefully going to fight it. We'll talk about that later. But it definitely...
Literally right now.
I'm really pleased that we're fighting to the hilt, because it's got everyone's respect, I think. I know there's a few of our supporters that are cynical, saying we won't get it overturned, and we might not get it overturned. But just the fact that you set a standard that you're telling your players every game is important, like, because if we didn't fight it, well, the players will just say, well, hang on, they don't give us stuff, do they? Yet we got ripped off. So the fact that the club's taking it seriously, I think that's where it actually started last week. And it's plus the fact that Benji's left his job and he's obviously, speaking to some of the playing group. I just think everything's starting to gel really well, for the future. So, look, it was just a magnificent performance. We had a lot go against us in the second half. We got absolutely caned by the referee from about 24-12. There were multiple decisions that went against us. We had to use our captain's challenge a couple of times before eventually losing it because, a strip wasn't ruled a strip, which was ridiculous. So I just think the boys outplayed Brisbane, and really no one's out-enthused Brisbane for probably the last 3 months. So we looked like the better team, and we deserved to win. It was a great performance.
So just to pull on that string, that's literally the next thing in the rundown, Roberto. So we've got a meeting with Abdo and Peter Volandis, the West Tigers, do about that Cowboys game. So it looks like they're definitely not giving up. They're still there's progress there.
I think it's a 1% chance, Josh, but honestly, call me crazy, man. I think we're going to get this. I think we're going to prove that it happened after the 80th minute. And unless, the NRL or ARL come up with some massive, carrot to dangle in front of us that isn't the 2 points, I actually think we're going to get it. And I believe we're going to get it. And I think, personally, what I enjoyed about the win against Brisbane is I was so ticked off from the week before. I sat down watching this game, like, ready to rip. I was like, come on, boys, we're not going to lose this week. Like, even in the prediction, that was more anger and passion than, here we go again. Like, I really thought the guys were going to prove that last week was no fluke. We've played basically the top 4 teams in the last 4 weeks. As I've said before, I don't think the Penrith game we played great, although it was close. And we've got 4 pretty decent results. So I was really confident and really happy with what the boys did, and they killed it. There was not one bad player on the field. Even a couple of guys that made a few mistakes in the first half, they were probably 2 or 3 of our best players in the second half. So I just thought it was a wholehearted performance, and things are looking up. And yeah, I think everything's looking really good, guys. I'm bloody excited for the future. I just hope Papali'i doesn't backflip, and we can build with a few more signings, and things are looking up.
What do you think our chances are for getting those 2 points back? And I mean, a lot of people are saying, "What's the point?" But man, I think we're going to go for it. I think we're going to show that we're not going to cop that. And a lot of people are saying it's going to set a precedent. I know Aaron Woods said this on Triple M today. I was listening to earlier. He's like, "Well, is every team going to?" But it's a unique situation. Like point to another situation ever in the history of rugby league. Firstly, the challenge hasn't been a thing When did we get the challenge? 2 seasons ago? Was it 2021?
2020, I think. After
2020? Yeah, it's
I think it was one of those
one of
things
the
that came
COVID
in
years.
after the lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's only, firstly, the challenge is only a new thing. So there's obviously teething issues with it, and when you can and can't challenge. The NRL boss obviously clearly doesn't know when the hell you're allowed to use them, because in his press conference, he said you can use them pretty much anywhere, but you can't even use them for offside penalties and that sort of thing. But yeah, there's no other situation like this. The game was finished. There's literally no, to quote myself, sliding doors moment. Literally, it's one door. They've shut it on us, and it was wrong. If ever there was a reason to overturn a result, it's this. There's other controversies and calls in footy, but they're during the game, and things happen after that from those decisions. This was black and white after the bell. It should have been full time, done. Like, I forget what my question was, but yeah, what have you got to add to this?
You basically asked me how I think it's going to go.
That's right.
I think our chances aren't particularly great, and my main concern with it is how do the Cowboys react? Do they try and make a legal challenge of their own? Because obviously they're in the position they're in, where they're currently second. A very slim chance of running down the Panthers for the minor premiership. But at the very least, if this game goes down as a loss for them, that makes their grip on the top 4 spot a little bit more tenuous. So there's a bit going on there. But honestly, I agree with Rob. Even if we don't get it, I hope we do, because we deserve it. We deserve the win. But even if we don't get it, it's the principle of the thing. Show the team and show the fans that the club is willing to fight for essentially justice, fight for a well-deserved win. And to answer your question about has there been a similar situation, you're right, there hasn't. The closest situation I can think of was literally a few weeks ago, where the Dragons and the Raiders, I think it was, were playing. The Dragons, I think it was, gave away a very, very cynical, blatant set restart on the last tackle with a second or 2 left on the clock, when it should have been a penalty from right in front of the posts for what they did, if it wasn't for the set restart rule and everything like that, which would have drawn the game going into Golden Point for the Raiders. So that's the closest I can think of in recent memory since the Captain's Challenge was a thing. I feel like that's something the Raiders probably would have had a right to challenge if they could challenge anywhere, like Annesley said. So, yeah, I don't like our chances. I think they're pretty slim, because there's the whole can of worms of how do the Cowboys react. But
who cares how they react, though, Aaron? That's the same thing the NRL.
Oh, exactly.
Well, Paul Kent has actually said that the NRL said the same thing about the actual challenge itself. It would have looked really bad when the Cowboys challenged if they'd have been penalised for Valentine Holmes being in front of the halfway line. It's the same thing. Who cares what the Cowboys think? This is what I love about this. When the club shows that they want the 2 points that badly, that filters down on everyone, guys. It's just such a good look from the club to fight this. The fact that we've even got a Queen's Council involved in it, we're going all the way. That's the Queen's Councils cost a fortune per hour.
They counsel for the Queen.
We're taking this deadly serious, and good on the club for taking it serious, because if we get these 2 points and we can beat Newcastle, who are going like busted, you know what, we're going to wipe out that wooden spoon that was ours a month ago. It was literally ours. There was no way we were getting out of it. So I want to protect that record. Who wants the wooden spoon? And we don't deserve the wooden spoon. We're not the worst team in the comp. We really aren't. But I'm just so glad that they fought for it, because, if they didn't fight for it, well, then it just says to the playing group, you know what? Who cares?
And lay down, bend over, and take it.
But the fact that they care so much, it's rubbed off on everyone. It's a great thing the club's done. Really, really happy with it. Bravo. About time. And let's keep up our guns. And just because we've won, don't back off. Just because we won a game, still have that rage and still get those 2 points and still fight for it and make it hard for the NRL. just really make them accountable for what happened. Because Laurie was on that ground before Numbnuts went up to Ashley Klein and said, what are we doing here? And I bet you that audio is very damning, and that's why our club still hasn't got the audio 6 days later after they requested it.
The biggest thing about it is the fact that pretty much every Cowboys player was watching was watching Felt instead of the ball. And then like Chad immediately went over there. So it seems like it was played for, which is the worst part. Like the Cowboys planned this super
Aaron,
extravagant.
100% it was played for, mate. 100% it was played for. If you see how they set up from the kickoff, they only had 5 guys to the right of Val Holmes. AJ Kapoa was standing outside the field of play, waiting for the ball to get to the 40-metre line to attempt to stop the back from Kyle Felt. Now, the fact that absolute idiots like Paul Kent say Kapoa was running him off his line, did he want Kapoa to stand outside the field of play, outside the touch? Kapoa's got to come back in the field of play towards the direction of the ball. He never looked at Paul Kent. He never looked at Kyle Felt. Okay, and let me tell you guys, like Valentine Holmes is an 80% goal kicker. There's no way he's missing the 40-metre line by 12 metres left, because basically we caught the ball 28 metres out. They knew that if they got a penalty, it's where the ball lands. Not, imagine they did the same thing near the 40 line, and Val Holmes has got a 40-metre kick 5 metres in from touch. This was a well-designed play by the Cowboys, and they sucked in the referees, and good on the Cowboys for getting away with it. But the refs are just gullible, and Klein's a freaking idiot. Like, that was just a dumb. It still wasn't a what do you call it? Not obstruction. What do you call it? Where you run the bloke off the ball. Escort. Yeah. It wasn't an escort. It was an absolute joke.
Rachel on Facebook, how do you get milking out of the game? It happened on the weekend with K-Paul, I believe. I think fines. You got to fine. That's what the NBA does. They flopping.
You won't get rid of it,
mate. Fine guys. Yeah.
You just won't get rid of it. It's called gamesmanship. You won't get rid of it. That's just part, mate. And we've just got to be better at that sort of stuff. We should stay down as well. We've got to learn with that stuff. A couple of times we got hit on the head. Like Dane Laurie copped a knee in the head fielding a grubber kick in the second half, and he pointed to the touch dodge like, "What are you doing?" I mean, Dane could have stayed down and milked it and got the penalty, but he didn't. Like he played on, which is just how. We don't want to be like that, I guess. But at the end of the day, we've got to start thinking about winning and doing what everyone else is doing.
Okay, so the West Tigers, it was deadline day today for when players can leave, come or go to other teams. So Oliver Gildart, who's been playing for the Magpies basically since the first several rounds, he's off to the Roosters on loan. So we all thought he was off to England, but no, he's still under contract with the West Tigers, and the club says he'll be back for 2023 training after he finishes the season with the Roosters. And then we talked a little bit about it earlier, previous show, that Nofaluma is off to the Melbourne Storm. So we're clearing out a fair chunk of money on this season that's a write-off. Do you think basically selling guys that weren't playing first? I mean, it hurts the Magpies, but they've obviously got a plan to do something with all this cash they're saving.
Yeah, well, the Magpies season's pretty much over anyway. They're not really in contention for finals with, I think, they've got one less round than us to go, so they've got 4 rounds left. It doesn't hurt us too much, I don't think, and it just gives them a little bit of depth. Same with Noffa at the Storm. Gildart, I'm not sure about if he'll actually play. He's I don't know. I thought they had decent stocks in the centres over there, the Roosters, but
best in the world, Joey Manu.
Yeah, that they have him.
Yeah.
I think it's a win for us if it frees up salary cap, allows us to bring up one of our younger guys. But my question is, has the club actually announced upgrading anyone today? Because obviously, if we've lost Noffa and Gildart for the rest of the season, then there's at least 2 spots in our roster for the rest of the year, and that had to be filled today. So, what what have they done? Is
We'd
the
be
question.
front-ending some contracts, Aaron.
Yeah.
That's what it'd be. Like Josh has suggested many times on the show, that's what it'd be about. So it's just a benefit for us to save a little bit more money between Noffa and Gildart. We're probably going to save 150 to 200 grand. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all it is. Like I said last show, I'm not a fan of this, especially in basically August. So I think
It's
these
really
sort
late
of
in the season.
it's really really late because just like I said, if a
Yeah, but the
good
season's
team,
finished.
well, imagine hypothetically that our club weren't standing firm and we decided to loan Dane Laurie or Adam Dwayhe or whatever to the Melbourne Storm, and they end up going to win the comp. It's just a poor look for the NRL that they've been
Yeah.
Tigers for 3/4 of the season, and then they go to another club. So
Or you have.
I just don't think it's a good look, but it's good. It's good for us in terms of the cap. And let's face it, I think Ollie and Noffa. I know Noffa can play, but I think they're both on the outer guys. So maybe they're hoping that they'll do something with these clubs. Don't forget the Roosters just let go of Kev Nagama to go back to England. So they probably they just probably need a little bit of a backup spot. While I got you, Josh, Gussie's trying to contact us to say he'd love to ring.
Yeah,
in
I saw that. I did say that. I'll
join
shoot him.
So he's
I'll
just
shoot him a
sending
link.
a text. So just let him know, mate. But
Yeah. We got,
I think this is a good thing for the club. And as you said, front end some contracts. If it's helping our cap space, it's great. And do we need to fill the roster? Like, is it actually compulsory that you've got to get it back up to 30? Okay, well then, well then we haven't announced something today. So well then I don't know what's going.
I'd say that I've got to upgrade some kids, but yeah, the money you give it to the guys that are off contract. Adam, Jackson, start giving these salaries to these guys and just bring down their next contract, spread it out. So you're basically writing off 1 year. It's kind of the opposite of drinking alcohol. I always think of drinking alcohol as you're borrowing fun from the next day, whereas this is kind of like the reverse to that. As in, like, your hangover is punishment for having fun the night before. But I don't know if that metaphor works, but it did in my head.
I like what Kathy's just said in the comments there, Josh, that Noffa gets to play finals and Ollie is a good chance to as well.
So it might make them better players, yeah.
Yeah, my hope with Noffa is playing in the finals this year with the Storm, because obviously they're still trying for top 4, and I think with the team that they are, and maybe with Noffa on the books, they can sneak back into that top 4, really give the finals a good hard crack. And I would hope that Noffa gets some hunger out of that to bring that back to the club next season, and that could hopefully benefit us going into next year as well, having him back if he gets playing again, if he can get on top of his off-field issues that he's been having this year. But maybe that's an experience that he needs as well. Go to the Storm, play for Craig Bellamy, get the hunger to bring that Storm level of success back to the Tigers, because he had that really good year in 2020 where he got the Dally M, one of the 2 Dally M Winger of the Year awards. But he kind of fell off a cliff a little bit last year. So yeah, just maybe that hunger will benefit us and him for 2023.
Aaron, I agree with that. But the thing with how we've used the loan before, you look at Paul Momirovski, we got him from the Roosters when they won a premiership. We lent him to Melbourne. He got all that experience with Melbourne. Melbourne won a premiership. We lent him to Penrith. We lent him to Penrith, and they won a premiership. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason we're letting him out. I feel like it's more like, you're lay buying something here, like the Storm and the Roosters are lay buying a couple of players. And if they like what they get, they'll pay they'll pay the balance of it later on. So I just don't think we're going to get them back, guys. I know they're saying they want to come back, but I just got a feeling I'd love to have an offer back, but there must be something going on within the playing group where I don't know, he's on the outer, or there's a bit of disrespect there, or something. I don't think he'll be back.
One guy I would like back next year, and he's currently not contracted, is Jock Madden. So his management have come out and said, basically, give Jock the first grade spot, let Luke Brooks go, or he'll find something elsewhere, which is totally fine. So I might join this with the Luke Brooks story that came out tonight. We'll kind of talk about him as one. So Tim Sheens came out and said he's planning on retaining Luke Brooks on less money. In fact, possibly even extending it out for further years. But so here's Sheen's word for word what he said. So he said, Obviously, everyone would prefer for it to be at less money, but we can sit down and negotiate with him and extend his contract out. I will stand by what I said on the record. He is contracted point blank. He is contracted to us next year, and I expect him to turn up for pre-season training. Unless the world changes, that is what I am doing. Honestly, can I ever say yes to anything? No one can, but I'm not indicating that he's leaving, and have told you, I mean it. Like the kid and I like the kid and I want him in the side. Benji loves him, wants him in the side, but we can't say any more than that. Look, what I think maybe Tim Sheen's playing a little bit of 3D chess here, and either A, trying to get a team that buys him to fork out more money. Yeah, because I know that in regards to Jock, they've said kind of hold on and we'll try and sort something out. Maybe the contract extension. I mean, the team that's going to pick up Luke Brooks, you would think aren't just going to pick him up for the 1 year. They're probably going to pick him up and then give him a couple of years on top of that. So maybe is Tim Sheen's thinking you'd kind of his contract, extend his contract for a couple more years, but then sell that contract and pay Brooksy over 3 years. We're kind of paying the debt across 3 years rather than one lump sum next year. I don't know. There's something going on with this, but as I'll go to you first, I want Jock. I mean, Jock Madden proved on the weekend. He's a first grade 7. To let him go, I think would be a massive mistake.
Yeah, after the performance he had on Saturday night, you'd be a fool to say, okay, Jock, you can go to another club. Good luck. He absolutely needs to stay. He proved that he really does have what it takes. He is a bit green behind the ears in regards to experience, but the more we play him, the better he'll get. So I really do hope the club keeps him. Whether or not that means we offload Brooks, I guess that's up to the powers that be. If we could pay maybe 30% of Brooks's salary for next year, I don't think that would be a terrible deal, especially if he's over $1 million. Are we still paying off any players this year? Do we?
And buy next year, I think.
And buys the last one.
And buys the last one.
Awesome. So that means we have whatever we were paying for him back in the cap for next year too. So throw it all at Jock. But then again, you still got to have some to throw at AD and Jacko as well.
A year later, though. That's a year after. So
a year later, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Where
it
more
would be good to
will
lock them
free
up
up.
in advance.
And again, letting these guys off on loan, more money that we can do that. So what are your thoughts on the Brooks Madden situation, Roberto?
Yeah, look, I agree with you on Brooks in the sense that I think maybe Sheens is trying to get someone to pay, full freight for him. And I think clubs like Newcastle, who look like an absolute mess at the moment, they could definitely use even a 5'8", because Brooksy is a 5'8" as far as I'm concerned, although he sees himself as a 7. So I think someone like Newcastle would definitely pick him up. As for Jock, I mean, Jock missed probably half a dozen tackles on the weekend, but the rest of his game was fantastic. He wouldn't demand, like, he's not the sort of guy that you'd pay 700 or 800 grand for either. I think we could get Jock on around 400-ish or 450. He's only young. He's only had, a dozen first grade games or so. He's played in all our wins this year. I mean, I know he's been a part of a few of our losses, but he started in 2 of our wins and he's been on the bench in 2 of our wins. So, the guy's got some game. That little jink where he went out and in to freeze up the Broncos the other day and got Adam Reynolds frozen and create the overlap, that was classy. The ball he put on Kelma Tuolangi, his kicking game's really good. And what was most impressive was his first game in first grade since we beat the Dogs at Leichhardt. So to just come in and just pick it up straight away like that, it was a classy performance. And maybe the fact now that there's no choice of Jacko playing at 7 again this year because he's out for the whole year, even though he's going well at 13, we are stuck with this halves combination. If they play well for the rest of the year, that might change Sheen's and Marshall and Farah's thoughts on who the number 7 should be going forward. So this could be a really good thing for Jock to consolidate his position in first grade.
Yeah,
I know I'm going a little bit ahead here, but if we have this halves combo and the whole team play as well as they did on the last 2 games, do you think we can go undefeated for the rest of the season?
I'd have to look at the 5 games. We've got a couple of tough games in there.
We're playing the Roosters. No, we never beat the Roosters.
We've also got the Sharks.
We can beat the Roosters.
We never beat the Roosters.
We can beat the Roosters. The Roosters are like a straw version of the Roosters of previous years.
I know,
they got some great players and they got some.
Even when they're wooden spooners, they seem to beat us. They always just seem to.
We beat them in a trial. We can beat them.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So Rob, we've got the Knights and then the Sharks at Tamworth. We've then got the Roosters at the SCG. We've got the Dragons home at Combank, and then the Raiders home at Leichhardt.
We'll definitely win 2 of them, and possibly 2 others out of the 5.
I'll be happy with that.
I'd take that.
I mean, you got to see what the ramifications of that last round are with the Raiders. Like, are they already in the 8? Do they need to win to make the 8, or are they out of contention for the 8? So that can affect
even the last 2 rounds, because the Dragons are in one of those spots fighting for that last top 8 spot as well. So
yeah, I think the Dragons will be gone by then too, though, Josh. I reckon, Aaron. I reckon the Dragons will be out of contention by then. I reckon them and Manly are just in a really, in bad shape in terms of making the 8. I think it's just about done and dusted. Only Canberra's probably the only hope.
Bold prediction for Mitch to say the Titans are going to win 2 more games while Newcastle win none there. But I think the Titans and Newcastle play each other, so that could be telling in the wooden spoon race.
Yeah, exactly. We need to beat the Knights this week, no doubt.
Yep.
Righto, we'll get on to, with 38 minutes in, Anthony. I opened up tonight to anyone that come on and celebrate this victory on the weekend, and Anthony slipped into our DMs pretty much straight away, so I'm going to bring him in to help talk about the game on the weekend. Anthony, welcome to your, I believe, your first appearance on the WestsLife podcast? Second?
Yeah, I jumped on, I can't remember now. I think it was a couple of games ago when we were like pretty much on the biggest downfall after Madge got sacked, but I didn't have a webcam on.
Okay, that moved away.
Yeah. I think I went on a bit of a Brooks rant about pretty much why he's shit for like probably 40
I mean, that's fair.
But yeah, it's good to see you again, Josh, Aaron, and Rob.
G'day, Anthony.
Yeah, I can't wipe the smile off my face. Like I said to Josh, I went to the game live because I live in Queensland. So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was a really great experience. The biggest shock was there's a lot of Tigers fans in Queensland, like a lot.
There is.
When I was walking around, jerseys everywhere. Really nice guys, and we were kind of all in the same boat, just talking about, last week's game in particular with Cowboys. But I was confident they were going to win. I knew it. I had the feeling. And the second the team list came through and I saw Jock Mannon, and he's my favorite player. I've always rated the kid ever since I've seen him step into first grade. So I knew he was going to take that opportunity as best he could. And mate, like I was behind him the whole game, like running down on the sideline, screaming at him and just seeing how he played behind Jackson. And yeah, like it was just a fantastic game. The whole team just stood up, especially our forwards. Like they lifted for that game. There were a lot of periods where I thought the Broncos nearly rolled us through the middle, especially Payne Haas. But they really held themselves to like not get pushed over, especially the centers like Kapoa and Toa did fantastic. Like when they rushed out of the line, they actually made the tackles. That's what I was a bit afraid of when I saw them rush out of the line, especially Kapoa. I thought, oh no, like here we go. It's just going to, create an overlap. But I think it was just the one try he let go, and that was about it.
Yeah, there was about a minute before it as well, Anthony, when he let Jordan Ricky through about a minute before that try as well. He would come up quickly, but that was pretty much it. He was pretty solid the rest of the game.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like his setup for Naden for the first try, and just like even some of his runs, he had a bit of vigor. which was surprising to see. Generally, he kind of does that with little shimmy that just like it's kind of pointless and he just falls to the ground.
Yeah, well, he even jumped up and caught that attacking bomb when Brent Naden must have been signing autographs at Deep Fine Leg or something and forgot where it because he won that ball, passed it out, and then Naden got the ball, and it was like it should have been a try. It should have equalised the game basically. So that like just for Kapoa to catch that and pass it in one motion, like the guy couldn't catch a ball 2 years ago. So he's definitely improving.
Yeah, the hands like fake Kapoa in 2020. God, he was shocking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. I just want to give a shout out to Fanua Pole. Like I low key reckon he's like our best forward prospect I've seen in a long time. Like that. I mean, I don't know if anyone else would agree with that, but just the way he moves on ground, like watching him in person, like he's got it. He's got all the skills to be one of the best forwards in the league. Like just the footwork, the way he moves. But it was the first time I've seen him bend the line as such. Normally he has like a really good footwork and he hits the line, but he was just almost like punching through it. And I was like, wow, this kid is unbelievable. Like he's made for first grade. He's 100% made for first grade.
The first time I got to see him live, Anthony, with Josh when we saw the Penrith game, I was actually a bit perturbed by the fact that Pole and Matamua were the only guys I could see out of the forwards running it off the back fence that day.
Absolutely.
Like they run the ball so hard and off that big run up, and he does it consistently. So he just hasn't missed a beat since he's come into first grade. So he's a great prospect. I can't disagree with you there.
Yeah, he's one of those kids that in reserve grade, if you guys ever watch him, like he's okay. He's not too bad. You'd expect him to be like, you know, a world killer, but he's just one of those guys who's legitimately made for first grade. He's coming to first grade and he plays like 2,000 times better than he ever has in reserve grade. So I truly believe he's almost like the perfect impact forward to come straight off the bench to like use that really good footwork in around the like tied middle defense to really lay a platform for our halves.
A couple of comments, fellow Queenslanders. Firstly, Stewie, one of our Patreon guys, he's moving to the Gold Coast from Japan. He's been living in Japan the last few years, so he's going to be another Tigers fan on the Gold Coast. I've seen us play. I've never been to Suncorp. That's the only ground in Australia I haven't seen the Tigers play. I really want to get up there, but I've been to Tigers games a couple of times, and literally we have like 2 sections full of West Tigers fans there. Like it is crazy. Whether or not, I mean, I was on holidays there, so maybe other people holidayed around the West Tigers schedule and we're from out of town, but it just seems like there is a heap. Yeah, you see a lot of, I guess a lot of, firstly, before 88, they didn't have a team, so maybe there were a few Balmain or Magpie guy like Queenslanders jumping on there, but obviously a lot of people move up there and get away from the shitty Sydney weather and traffic.
That's exactly what I did. I'm actually from Canberra, so I moved up here last year.
Yeah, right. So you've gone from freezing cold to
to -2, -3 to you know 18, 19 degrees every day in winter. So it's fantastic. I don't miss it.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. I just living around Queenslanders might be a bit tough, but no, only joking. I love Queensland. I'm planning to. I love it. My sister moved to the Gold Coast just this year as well. So yeah, I love it. I'm going to holiday there this coming summer. I can't wait to take the young bloke up there. Righto, back stats leaders for this week. So Kenny Mamalo, arguably one of our best forwards, playing on the wing. 20 runs, 171 meters, so he was the leader there. Brent Naden was the leading line breaks for 2, line break assists. Jock Madden had a couple try assists. AJ Kapoa, the only back with the try assist, which is quite funny in a game where we flogged the opposition. The only, no half had a try assist, but most touches, Dwayne, he had 37. I think Jock was not far behind, but that's actually quite low considering that Jackson Hastings was having close to 100 earlier in the season. So
He had
kicking
over 100
wise,
once.
kicking wise, Adam did the most, but Jock had a few as well. So 9 for 320. Adam made 30 tackles, playing 5'8". He was the leader in the backs there. AJ Capel, most missed tackles was 6. And then Nathan and Adam had 3 errors, the most each. Rob, what player stands out the most from you in our backline?
Look, Josh, this is the 1 week I could just about give anyone in the starting 13 points. I was really happy with all of them. In the back line, for me, Mamalo's first half was amazing. Like just some clean breaks when we needed them. You know, like a 20-metre tap, almost got to the halfway, like just straight off literally a restart. I thought Naden was really good, especially with a couple of those runs out of the backfield as well, being first off the ruck and taking those tough yards. He really didn't put a foot wrong except for, you know, like I said, standing a deep fine leg. Other than that, Naden really didn't make a mistake. Adam Dwayhe's second half was man of the match performance stuff.
Yeah.
He had a few errors in the first half, to be fair. Made a couple of poor decisions and a couple of errors, but I mean, gosh, he made up for it in the second half. So, look, you know, as Anthony said, AJ Capoa played well. Dane Laurie, probably my man of the match.
Yeah,
you know,
and he didn't pop up in any of these stats, so he just did a little bit.
There are some key moments too.
Work.
Well, you look at, I don't know if you remember the kick early in the second half from Adam Reynolds, might have been 5 minutes into the second half or thereabouts. The ball was going touching goal, and then it just went sideways. And Dane Laurie's corralled by like 3 Broncos, and he just squeezed his way into the field of play. Like there's just a lot of desperation about our players. I think it was Toa's best game for the club. Jock played great. You know, what can I say? Every player in that back line played great. They really did.
What about for you, Az?
Yeah, I honestly don't think I can pinpoint a single player. They all played great. Capoa, yeah, best game for the club ever. My only concern was a couple of those times Naden rushed out of the line to try and put some pressure on a player about to receive a pass, and there were a few where he missed the tackle and they got a decent run down his side. But in saying that, the desperation from the rest of the team, the rest of that side of the field to cover him whenever that happened was brilliant to watch. And I just went and checked the touches stats there, Josh, for the two halves. I think you might have missed something because according to NRL.com's stats, Jock had 38 touches.
Okay. He's at the bottom of the list. I might have.
Yeah, you might have skipped him. Thought he was a forward.
No, because he's on 22. They sort it by number. We've been through this before. It's so annoying. They sort the list by number, not position. But yeah, thanks for clearing that up. So yeah, pretty much 37, 38. Yeah, that's it. Basically, you can't get any more even than that.
And Aaron, on that desperation you're talking about, like even to literally the last 5 seconds of the game where it looked like Katoni Staggs is going to score a try off that kick and Laurie just came out of nowhere and batted the ball dead. Like there was just that effort. We're up by 14 points. There's no need to be so desperate, and we still were. So it was just there from the very start of the game. And I think I commented on Discord in our group chat after about 5 minutes. I said the boys are on tonight. You know, you could just see it in their energy. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
I had a 13 plus post ready to go on Discord, but I held off just in those last couple of minutes because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to regret saying this in a moment. So I'll just let the game play out, and then I'll say yes, the 13 plus win, because I knew the Broncos would come at us heavy and in the team's fashion.
Even
when
we're up 8, I was still nervous when we're up 8.
We're all nervous.
When Adam went over for that try, man, I said it on Twitter earlier. I fist pumped the air so fucking hard. Like it was just.
I saw that coming. He was setting that up well before that scrum was even packed in. I looked at my mate who was a Broncos fan. I was like, Dewey's going to score. Sorry, Dwayne, he's going to score. So like I've gotten up ready to start yelling, and as soon as he just shifted towards the right side of the scrum and I saw that hole open up, I was like, he's in, he's straight away. and he went through, and that was it. I think I got booed and got a bit of yelling at by the Broncos fans because I was surrounded. It was just me and Broncos fans everywhere.
Anthony, who was your best back in your opinion out of the thing?
Like, it's a tough one because they were all in pretty unison for like majority of the game. Like, they all had their own really good positives. It's tough. Like, I want to say Jock Madden, obviously, because I'm a big fan and I thought he played fantastic. But to be brutally honest, like, I'm going to go with Dwayne. Like, he stands up when we need him the most. Like, that try he scored, like you mentioned, Rob, last week, where he got that offload and we won the game. As we won the game, like, he wanted it. He wanted it so bad. I could just see in the way he was running, he knew he was going to score to put the icing on the cake to win the game for the Tigers. So just to see that passion run through and to like really make a statement to go like, I want to win this fucking game because of last week. That was it. That was like, he's got my 3 purely for that one try.
I love that scrum play because it's worked twice in 3 weeks now.
It does,
It's a brilliant scrum play for Dewey.
He's just always there with that extra effort. Like even the back off the bomb, like when he hit Adam Reynolds early in the first half when I think it might have been, we might have scored off it even. I can't remember. It might have been Toa's try. But he's always in there for those little extras, those 1%ers that we keep talking about. And that's what we've missed. And that's what I kept saying. Like I kept saying, I think we've all forgotten how good Adam Dwayne is, because we'd say he'd make a difference. And, not really. Should he go centre? Should he go 5'8"? Like, he really is that good for us. I love him. He's my favourite player.
Like the games early in the season, like the Titans and any of those closer games, we win with Dwayne in the team. 100%.
Exactly.
Exactly. Bloody missed him.
Yeah.
Like we missed him. And just as well, like a shout out to Dane Laurie. Like there was at the very, very end of the game where the Broncos put a grubber kick in and it went to in goal and they were about to score off it. And he sprinted with every bit of energy he had and smacked it straight out with.
Someone commented that earlier, yeah.
Dane Laurie never does that. Where is he to like shut down a kick? And I watched him come from inside the angle and I just stood up and applauded because I was like, that's what I want to see. Like we're up by, X amount of points. Like we've won they could have scored
a try. It was game over,
whatever. But the fact that he chased it with every inch of energy and smacked it out, whoever's done some voodoo dance to Dane Laurie in the past 2 weeks, because I honestly think he's been playing the best footy of his career, even better than last year.
The thing I'm worried about, Anthony, the thing I'm really, really worried about with Dane Laurie is where's his form been all year, and suddenly when we're thinking of should we keep him as our fullback or not, he's bringing out this form, and then when he signs again, does he go back to normality like what he did earlier in the year? So we need this all the time from Dane.
Yeah, no, you actually make a really good point. The fact that all that speculation of, Charlie Staines coming in and we'll put Dane at 6 and he doesn't want to play 6 and he wants to play 1 and he'll leave if he doesn't. And then all of a sudden he's just, playing a lot better than
playing like a man possessed.
Yeah, well, he could have had 13 plus Tigers. You never know.
I'll tell you what though, Adam Reynolds' most dangerous attacking kick would have to be his grubber, and the number of Adam Reynolds grubbers that Dano diffused
position wise, he was awesome.
Great, yeah.
And there was one Adam Reynolds kick that went dead in goal. Dwayne, he takes a 20-meter tap and gets tackled on the halfway line.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
What an effort that Adam does, and he's just a tiger, man. He's just a tiger at heart. It's great to see.
Yeah. One thing missing we haven't mentioned with Adam, and you predicted it, Rob, so I might give him the 3 later on. Tip him on the line. He didn't miss a goal. Kicked every goal.
I just look. I don't know him really well, but I know of his nature, and I know his nature is really similar to Robbie Farah, and they're both competitive, and they both hate losing. And without knowing it, like I said to you last week, I just reckon he would have been doubling his goal kicking practice all week. Like he would have been so pissed off that he didn't get the conversion from Toa's try at the end of the Cowboys game that he just would have done that extra practice. And I thought he's going to be so freaking dirty on himself. He's going to nail every goal. That was the reason. It was no other reason than that.
And three
Yeah.
of them were sideline.
Yeah, they weren't
sidelines.
easy.
They were things of beauty.
They were
Yeah,
excellent.
they were.
Yeah, we keep scoring on the wings and making it hard for him. But
And when you play
Yeah.
the Broncos, you need to score in sixes. Like they got Adam Reynolds. Like he didn't miss
Yeah.
a goal.
Mm.
So it's very important.
On to the forwards. So stats leaders. So Jacko had the most runs and meters, 22 and 157 post contact. Joffa had the most there with 60. 4 different forwards. The squeeze 4 graphics in there. So try assist for Kilmer. New Alex Seyfarth, which was one of the best tries of the year for the West Tigers. Like
Yep.
Alex Seyfarth was the last pass. Who scored that?
Toa.
Was and
Toa. Yeah.
Salvatoa, yes, Toa, and Peachy had a try assist as well. So yeah, that's crazy. 4 different forwards getting a try assist just kind of shows how much we're throwing the ball around as well. So line breaks, Kelmer and Zane had 1 each. Tackle breaks, Kelmer had 4. Play the ball speed, Kelmer was the quickest. Offloads, Joffa had 4. Big Red, 50 tackles, and I think he only missed 1. As you might be able to check that, I think he only missed 1 tackle.
Yeah, I'll check that for you.
Not quite the Alex 12, but nearly there. And missed tackles, Joff and Kelmer missed 4 each. Anthony,
You are
you're the
correct,
guest
Josh.
tonight. Yep.
One
thanks.
missed tackle, 1 ineffective. So
Yeah.
you were correct.
98%. Anthony, what forwards stood out for you?
I'm going to go with a different forward for this week. I got to give a shout out to Kelmer. He was fantastic. And I truly believe that was because he had Jock playing outside of him. Like Jock just gave him so much space, really, really good ball, like that line break. And I truly believe they just had this really good connection. Then there's also another speculation of Kelmer. I don't know if you guys have heard the news, but apparently someone at the meet and greet here in Queensland asked Kelmer about the Seagulls. Have you actually officially signed? Because nothing's come out. And he said, I haven't signed yet.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So, he said to this guy that I haven't signed with the Seagulls yet. So he hasn't actually done anything. This is just speculation, but maybe, all of a sudden he's having this resurgence. Maybe he's trying to get a contract with the Tigers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought it kind of made a bit of sense, especially after the weekend. Like when I mentioned he had that game where he made 3 runs for 30 meters. Yeah. And then now he had like over 100 meters, made that break, had massive speed behind. Like he cleaned everyone. He was well ahead. So yeah, I'm kind of led to believe that maybe that could be true, but it's just pure speculation.
Okay. Yeah, to have him, Papa, and then Sean Bloor as well coming back for the back row. Yeah,
we've got a lot of players out at the moment too, Josh. You put a list on Twitter the other day. We've got so many players missing. So
Garner's missing from our second
really
row
good signs.
Well.
Really good signs when you beat the Broncos team like that.
Yeah, I was trying to work out like the salary wise, and obviously someone argued with me that Noffa technically wasn't out. That was by our own choice. But the point I was trying to make was we trotted out basically a $6 million side ish. And I think Broncos, who are Broncos missing? Are they missing anyone?
They're missing, they're missing their left centre, the Pommy guy. Just his name's escaped me.
Herbie Farnsworth.
Sorry? Herbie Farnsworth, that's him. Yeah.
So there's, either way, there's probably a $3 million total salary wise, well, probably $3 million less than the Broncos. And usually, like, that's, more talent usually comes with more money, unless you're the West Tigers in previous years. But, it's just the point I was trying to make was we had a shitload of players out. We had probably half a starting squad not there for whatever reason, whether it's injury or sent them off to Melbourne. the fact is they weren't there, and we knocked off a top 4 side. It was an insane effort. It's almost a
Two
few
top
people
4
have
sides in a
commented.
row, Josh.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
to say two top 4 sides, definitely.
Yeah, like where was you have to wonder where was this all year, but yeah.
But Anthony's hit the nail on the head too with Tuolangi, because Jock Madden really helped him a lot. You see the way he dug into the line all day, like that just gives those forwards that extra space. So you know, put full credit to Jock Madden. He does make Tuolangi better, and that play where he put him through the hole, Jock could have easily gone out the back to Dane Laurie. Like that's what it looked like. The play was designed like it was just a beautiful. He really dug into the line perfectly.
Absolutely. The thing I love about what Jock does, I know we're in the forwards, but I just have to mention he does the classic halfback move of like the seatbelt play, which is basic, or the car accident play, which is basically digging so far into the line, you're bracing to be pretty much romped by a forward. So the second you dig in as far as you can, you're basically going to turn your body to do that move because you've engaged the line marker, which then you're going to pretend to like brace for an accident. And
Pretty
Jock
much
does that better than any halfback I've seen, you know, because he models his game of Cooper Cronk, and you can see it.
I was just about to say that's exactly what Cooper Cronk used to do.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah, and he straightens it up as well. Like we said, with that little jink out and in, he holds that defense as well. So he really straightens our block plays up, and our block plays had a bit more speed about him this week. Normally we're pretty pedantic. So look, I just thought it was a great game from him in attack, especially.
Absolutely. And just before we move on to you guys with the forwards, I've actually been having a bit of a smoky for like our number 13 sort of moving forward for this year since Hastings is out. But since, you know, the new modern is, you know, the big mobile forward that has a bit of ball playing, how come they haven't put New Brown in 13? Like he's a 5'8". He's got great tackling. He's got great leg speed, great movement. I think
he's also a half. He's a half as well.
He's a half too. I honestly think he would be a fantastic lock forward and getting Simpkin in at number 9, because I love Jake Simpkin. He should be in the first grade spot. I don't understand why he hasn't been given a fair shot. Like he's still a kid. He's had barely any NRL games. And whenever he ties together like a few good games, maybe a little bit, like it's unfair that, you know, Brooks can play 150 shit games in a row, never get dropped, and then Simpkin plays maybe one pretty, you know, poor game, and then the poor kid just gets dropped for weeks. Like, just let him have a go. Like, you haven't seen the true potential he's got. And I honestly think moving forward for the rest of this season, I want to see Simpkin at 9, New Brown at 13. Because I honestly think him linking with Jock Madden and Dwayne would be fantastic.
Yeah, I never saw the game on the weekend, Anthony, but apparently Simpkin missed 8 tackles in New South Wales Cup and Little missed 5. So I think there's still some defensive things. I'd actually like to see Peachy have a go at 13 now.
I think that's what they're going to do, to be honest.
I hope so. I
think they'll put Joffa back there?
There's talks of bringing Matamua back because that's ideally Matamua's best position. So, but personally, I'd like to see Peachy there just because he's more of a link player. I don't think his service is great out of dummy half anyway. So I don't think we need him as a backup hooker. And then maybe you can promote a Jake Simpkin onto the bench or something like that. But yeah. But I mean, I'm not. I think maybe New Brown's a bit small for that lock position, Anthony. But you could be right. I mean, it's worth giving him a go because he'd suit our style of play and the style of play we're trying to produce.
And he's got really good first contact, which is what Simpkin doesn't have. Like his first contact, Simpkin gets bounced. And I think that's the time why he gets dropped, because he can't hold the player up or he can't bring the player to the ground. Like he'll get bounced and he'll sort of have to drag along him and hopefully get a second or third forward to bring him down.
Yeah.
Brocco said Peachy doesn't look fit at all. Yeah, he does look a bit pudgy at the moment. Do you guys feel the same about Peach? Not that I can talk, but
I didn't think he looked gassed the other night when he came on, when he played.
It's more body fat.
Oh yeah,
wise. Yeah, he looks like
body fat. Some players are like that. He's never looked really lean, has he?
He's similar to Owen Craigie, I guess. But
yeah, good comparison.
As any forwards? So what was that as?
I didn't pay too much attention to Peachy's physique, to be fair. So
Oh, I perv on all the boys all the time. But any forwards as that we haven't touched on yet?
well, two, we haven't really talked about Jacko and his performance yet, other than his touches. And I had a question for Anthony about Zane. We could probably all agree that his first half was pretty ordinary, to say the least. But what did you think of his second half in particular?
I was happy with this second half because those mistakes he made was typical Zane Musgrove of, the very first carry drops the ball, like just a simple drop ball that the kind of shit you see in under 12s Division 3 forward do. And I just put my hands on my head thinking, here we go. Same shit. If Zane Musgrove comes on the field and drops the ball in the first carry, we're going to lose the middle. But that didn't happen, and he really had to make a statement. I think he really made up for his mistakes. And to be honest, like his try, questionable. Like,
yeah, I agree with you. It's no try.
That was a double movement, like by the ladder of the law, even though momentum does drag him, like he was moving fast and momentum, if he didn't promote the ball and just let his body move, he'd still
scores anyway. Yeah.
Correct.
But
You don't reckon the ball clipped the line on the...
No.
Like when he first
no,
the line, like when he got tackled, the ball fell and it clipped just before the line and the player still held him. So that constitutes a tackle. So that was a definite double movement. But I think after what happened last week, they let it go, in my personal opinion, because generally with the Tigers, that gets called a double movement every day of the week.
Yep,
every day of the week.
But that was a double movement. It was.
That absolutely was. I'm glad you agree, Rob, because that was, but I was like, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, but to make our fans feel better, Adam Reynolds' pass to Ezra Mann was a mile forward as well.
That was, well forward. I was right in line of that too. And I mean, the touch judge probably didn't like me after that because he did turn his back and look at me and kind of, yell a bit of FC, use your fucking eyes. So, but that was stupid. But sorry, Aaron, to go on, but no, Zane Musgrove had a great game. Like he really, really made up for his mistakes, which is what I really like to see in every player in the Tigers. When they make a mistake or they do something, they, just cop it and they make up for it, do something, be better, do something like to mitigate that mistake, which is what they generally haven't really done this season. So it was really great to see that.
It reminded me of the Tigers of the earlier rounds of 2018 because we made a shitload of errors, but we defended the hell out of them.
Oh, the scramble was like that anomaly 2018 year. That still, goes in the history books of whatever that was. But our missed tackle counts that year were probably I think it was the worst in the league. But our
after 5 rounds in particular,
good.
we were awful. That Broncos game at Campbelltown where we were ripped off by Klein again.
Yeah, because of Luke Brooks not being square at marker.
Yeah, that was one of the games where we missed the most tackles, but we defended those mistakes. The Broncos that game didn't score a try. They scored 1 field goal and 4 penalty goals. That was all they scored that game. So we defended our mistakes and we defended them well.
It felt like we had like 15 players on the field. Like there was just always scramble defense. Just someone was there to make it. And if it felt like there was an overlap, all of a sudden there's like 2 more guys and it's just where have they come from? So yeah, you're right about that. It really felt like the scrambling and just, being there for their mate. Like I really saw that they really wanted this win. So, as every, NRL player says, full credit to the boys.
Yeah. Shuey asked on the YouTube, Seafath deserves a mention. We touched on it before, 50 tackles and a try assist. Anthony, I'll let you on a roll here. What are your thoughts on Seafath?
Personally, I think Seafath is just not a first grader. Like he's got effort, which to be an NRL player, effort is the minimum you should have. Like it's as simple as that. You're an elite rugby league player. Effort is not one of those things that you should be commended for in being an NRL player. Like you just need to have it. to have that sort of like athlete. I know it's a bit, maybe a bit of like an asshole way to look at something, but if you really want to have the best of the best, that's the kind of level you need to go for. And he just doesn't have anything that's, a positive where like, what can he do to be the best top player 17? He's got no attack. His defense is very questionable. Like, he does try to like do stuff, but he's just doesn't have a very good footy IQ, and that just kind of like, it burns my brain. Like, just to like have a little bit of smarts about what you do. He kind of reminds me of a really shit Elijah Taylor, and that's saying something. Because Elijah Taylor was, a dumb footy player, penalties left, right, and centre, but his defence was phenomenal. Yeah. But other than that, that's all Elijah Taylor had. He was just a perfect defender. He was a tackle bot. And Seafarth can't do that. So, yeah, he made 50 tackles, and that's fantastic. But other than that, he literally offers nothing. So, in my personal opinion, I'd be happy for us to move on from him, because there are far better players out there, even in reserve grade, that could play a much better game. But I guess for the current time, he kind of fits what we're needing at the moment, because he's an effort player.
Right, on to the 3-2-1. My graphics not updated there, but yeah, boys, have you got your 3-2-1s lined up? Let us know in the chats too, guys, what who your 3-2-1s are for this week. As I'll let you go first.
Oof, okay. This is probably the trickiest week to pick a 3-2-1, because you could practically give points to, like Rob said earlier, you could practically give points to any player on the team. And it's funny that every game that we've won has been one of those games, but this one to me feels like the toughest to do it. So I'm going to give my 3 to, I've been umming and ahhing my 3 and my 2. I think I'm going to give my 3 to. Oof.
You're sounding like me if you're procrastinating.
Spit it out, son. Spit it out.
I've been trying, guys. I'm trying. I'm going to give my 3 to Jock. Okay. That was a stellar game by him. I really loved watching him, and I think with no Jacko now and no Brooksy as well, he's really going to make a fist of this number 7 for these last 5 rounds. I'm going to give my 2 to Dane. I could have easily given him 3 as well, but he was a standout in so many ways. Like I said, defensively, diffusing all of Renault's grubbers, all of those 1%ers, all of those effort plays. He played spectacular, and I'll give my 1 to Adam Dwayhe, because he played phenomenal as well. I really enjoyed watching him, and yeah, his try from that scrum play, thing of beauty.
Roberto?
Yeah, as I said earlier, could have given it to anyone. Honourable mentions to Adam Dwayhe and Zane Musgrove. They were the best 2 players in the second half for me. They had a few errors in the first half, which is why I wouldn't put him in the points. Jacko was Herculean all game. There are another bunch of players that were fantastic as well, but I'm going to give my 3 to Dane Laurie. I thought Dane Laurie was as safe as houses. I love the fact that he caught a couple of balls on the full instead of letting him bounce, especially one torpedo that Adam Reynolds did, and we spoke about him getting out of the in-goal area at a crucial time earlier, which was huge. There were plenty of other good players that probably did more work, but geez, Ken Mamalo, man, he's becoming a favourite. He's actually playing like he realises he's the biggest winger in the world. And some of the things he does, like I said, that tap kick off the break. There was another time, I think that we might have had an error of some sort, and on the second tackle, he charged up out of the line and creamed someone. I think it was Tessie New, basically shit himself. Dropped the ball, and Seafarth ran up the sideline for about 30 metres. I don't know if you remember the play, but he's just a rock, and he's just making all these metres. What was it, 191 metres or thereabouts? So I'm going to give him 2 points, and Stafford Toa 1 point. And I know he probably didn't get as involved as many people think. it was his best game for the club. But what's impressed me about Toa this week, his weakness is his front on defence. He nailed every tackle on the weekend. His defence really improved. So I thought with his improvement in defence, Dane Laurie's improvement, under the high ball, and, Ken Mamalo did not put 1 foot wrong all game. But there were other great players. Naden played great. We had a lot of good players in the team. So if you had different 3-2-1s, I could probably accept it, because Adam Guahi did really put his print on the game in the second half. But I just thought with those errors in the first half he made, I wanted to give the best 80-minute performances. So
yeah, I get that.
That's how I went.
You've almost talked me out of it, but I'm giving Adam 3. Second half is crunch time. He kicked all his goals. He scored that try to ice the game. He was just clutch as. Dane, I was tossing up between Dane. I could have easily flipped him with Dane. Just he was, doing all the 1%ers. Just perfect fullback play. 1, I'm tossing up. You could give 1 to, like you said, to so many.
You could give 3 to so many, mate. That's
absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna go Jock. I'll go Jock for 1. So where does that? What are people saying in the? If you look at the comments, it's take your pick. There's just so many different.
While you do your tally, Josh, what do you reckon, Anthony? While Josh is adding up the numbers.
Oh, the numbers they're on the screen, Roberto.
Oh, they're there, are they? Okay,
I've got them. They obviously haven't got this week's in there yet. Yeah. So
I'm just curious to know who Anthony thought were the 3-2. What was his 3-2-1?
So
it's going to be Jock, isn't it?
You're probably definitely. It was hard. I was sitting here thinking, who deserved the 3 out of Dwayne and Jock, and just purely for the first half where Jock basically set up our 2 tries and really sort of laid the platform for our attack, and reading from a halfback's perspective, because that's what I played for a number of years, just watching him set up, directing the team, and really setting, pretty much laying the platform. He took it for me. But then again, if Dwayne didn't do the first tackle kick and maybe a few other little bits in that first half, I would have given him the 3. So it's really tough, but I'll definitely go Madden 3, Dwayne 2, and for my 1, Fanua Pole for sure. When he came on, he was just an absolute beast in the forwards. I think he was on for 38 minutes. 38 minutes. He made 12 runs for 124 meters. It's the second highest besides Joffa.
Yeah.
So he was phenomenal, and I just think that he really deserves as much credit as possible, because the second he came on, he just caused issues for the Broncos. He was all over him. So I really think that he really helped to lay the platform for the backs, and really sort of helped our resurgence push forward to win that game for us.
Yeah, I looked at the stats earlier, Anthony. I'm pretty sure we had 9 guys that ran over 100 meters. So it's a pretty good night for our team, really.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Considering we've got Child in the forwards for most of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Jackson ran over, Kelmer did, Joe, James Tamo, and Fanua were the forwards that all ran over.
Both our wingers, Toa.
Sonny on YouTube said Brooks put Tuolagi through 2 of those holes last week, and Kelmer dropped it on the 3rd one. You guys didn't mention it all. Jock does 1 and you're coming in your pants. I thought we were very complimentary. We said Brooks had a good game.
We did say Brooks had a good game last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're supposed to say, but like some people say, it's been 8 or 9 years. But I'm not going to bash him. The thing that gets me is Jock had a similar game to this against Canterbury at Leichhardt, and we won. And Madge dropped him the week after, when I thought Jock should have deserved to stay there, and Brooks should have bided his time.
Yeah, I've seen, just to go back on this guy, I've seen this guy comment before multiple times, and it just seems like it's Brooks' second account, because he just tries to back him up with these ridiculous allegations that, Jock does this, but Brooks did this. Come on, mate, you're putting up a 8 NRL player against someone who's nearly at 200 NRL games.
Yeah,
there's a reason why we consider Jock to be better, because he's already doing what Brooks does better in 8 NRL games.
But the thing is, Anthony, it seems like Sheens and Benji are talking Brooks' first choice halfback. So it's not just, whoever's commenting. And we welcome, comments that disagree to ours. Like there's no right or wrong here.
Every opinion is welcome.
As long as you kind of back it up with a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's welcome. Look, I was head of Brooks Island for a couple of years. So, yeah, I think we've been pretty fair on Brooksy. We're definitely not, we don't just hate him.
I don't hate him. I love Brooksy.
Yeah, we're not Brooksy haters at all. We call it every game for what it is from him. All right, Gussie's been patiently waiting there. I'll let Gussie come in and let us know. Well, I caught you off guard there, Gussie. No, you're not ready. Saying no. Oh, okay. You're sitting there 1 second. Okay, I'll bring him back. Before we get Gussie, he was sitting there patiently. He, for those listening, he was giving us the no, not ready. So next episode we will be Thursday night as we preview our game on Sunday against the Newcastle Knights. Anthony, what are your predictions for that one? Obviously, we'll save ours for Thursday, and obviously got to see a team list tomorrow. But do you reckon we can make it 3 in a row?
Against this Knights team, absolutely. Yeah, I think I think the boys have that vigor they have when when Jackson Hastings got that field goal against Parramatta, and they had that real connection, like everyone playing in unison together. I really feel that they've got that back now. I think that the whole fiasco of Madge being sacked and, like the really down times, I think the boys have finally sort of hit that rock bottom period, and now they're like having a resurgence again. Well, I like to hope so. So I truly believe that this is a game that they should comfortably win. Not like a smash in, definitely not. But I do feel that if they play with that same intensity, even though Jacko is not there, I feel that Dwayne here is going to have a massive game because he's our leader for this one.
One thing I tweeted out on the WestsLife account this week, Sunday Arvo, we should be 2 in a row coming from a Queensland back-to-back. Man, I hope we get a good crowd. I haven't looked at the weather yet. I think the weather's meant to be okay for Sunday Arvo. Man, Campbelltown, if we don't get 15,000, I'll be pretty disappointing. Like, I know the season's over, but the team's playing like a team that's worth watching at the moment. And as Anthony said, the Knights team at the moment are pretty rubbish. So we're favourites. I think we're $1.70 or something. Last I checked to win, which I don't like. I hate being favourites. But yeah, man, and Adam Dwayne actually liked that tweet. So the boys obviously will be hoping that, we get a big home crowd on Sunday. So get your tickets for Sunday. I definitely can't wait to go back to my seat. Are you driving from Orange for the game on Sunday?
I sure am.
So I'll see you in the stands. Gussie, are you ready? Give me a thumbs up, Gussie, if you want to come in to finish the show off. He's ready. Okay. Welcome back, Gussie. What have you got for us?
Hello. I'm sorry, dude. The headphones went I couldn't hear you. I'm watching you. I'm seeing you. And you're all beautiful. And thank you very much for what you do. Hey, boys.
I got a haircut just for you, Gussie. What are your thoughts?
Did you miss? Yeah, I just wanted to say, especially at the end of the night, go the Tigers. We're all on fire. Everything's happening. Yep. Bring new blood, new hope. And I accidentally stumbled across a website that you might be interested in, which was it's called Patreon. And I noticed that for $3 a month, that the WestsLife podcast can be sponsored for $3 a month. You got $4.50, you got $14. I won't name the names and all your schedules. But you guys, just at the bum end of what you're doing, thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks,
I
Gussie.
want your other fans too. Please don't be scared. Get involved. Get involved in the podcast. Have a chat.
Good on you, Gussie.
Josh and the boys. Yeah, get in there. Love you very much.
Super
Get on that
fan, Gussie.
podcast.
Love you, Gussie.
Go the
Yeah,
Tigers.
Thanks, Gussie.
Go the
Much appreciated,
Tigers.
mate.
Go the
Great way to-
Tigers. Give us a high five.
Great way to finish the show, Gussie. As Gussie
Let's
said
go.
then, boys and Anthony, thanks heaps, man, for joining us for the review. It was cool to get a Queenslander perspective.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks, Josh, Aaron, and Rob for actually having me on for half the show. I wasn't actually anticipating, but it's fantastic. It's, again, one of those things, like I mentioned, like I started watching you, Josh, when you first started this podcast, and I was always like, damn, I just want to like jump on and just like have a discussion because I never really had like Tigers, mates who are Tigers fans. So I'm always got just like, I just want to like burst out so much stuff about the Tigers. Like I love talking about the Tigers as Rob.
You crushed it too, Anthony. Good on you, brother.
Thanks,
on you,
Gussie.
brother.
Love you, mate. Appreciate it. So
Mate,
yeah,
come on whenever you want. Come on whenever you want.
I'd definitely be keen to, give a lot more insight and try and get off the Brooksy hate wagon. I think I should just leave it for a little bit.
No, I appreciate the kind words, man. I started this. I want to be like a voice for the fans. We're not on a voice for the club at the moment. We're hoping that we can mend that bridge a little bit, but we really appreciate a lot of the fan input and love having people of all different opinions and that sort of thing. Rob, Aaron, and I, and Shane as well, we might think that we're right all the time, but there's different opinions out there, and we love hearing from all different West Tigers fans. So I don't have enough West Tigers fans
podcast
in my life, but
Don't worry,
everyone needs a friend like Gussie, that's for sure.
I'm definitely.
I got a lot of room for more friends if you want to come around. By the way, Sunday, Campbelltown, if you want to come watch some footy, come and hang out.
Yeah, we'll be there.
I'll be there, Gussie.
I'll expect your invoice for a bit of commission for your sales tonight, Gussie.
Mate. Labor of love, as Rob would say.
You're the best, Gussie. And thanks,
you're
Anthony.
better.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks,
Drop it in
guys.
the comments, guys, as the outro video plays. Boys, as always, go the Tigers.
Go the Tigers.
Go the Tigers.
You're listening to another episode of the WestsLife podcast. As always, we are sponsored by West Ashfield Leagues Club and as well as MG Pump Solutions. If you could please subscribe if you'd love to hear us again. We're going to have episodes twice a week, every week this season, Mondays and Thursdays. So we're going to, as the season rolls in, be sure to catch us every week. And if you can, give us a like on the socials. So at WestsLife Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Search for WestsLife Podcast on Facebook. And if you'd like to take part in the show, patreon.com/WestsLife. It's just a couple of bucks a month to help grow the show. We'll see you again next time on the WestsLife Podcast.